Hi, everybody. This is the Baseball Hype, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion, your host, the Hunt. And this is another visit to the insane asylum known as WFAN.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha, to the funny fun.
Now, welcome back to the Baseball Hype. Hopefully you like this video. And this, again, is another visit to that crazy place in New York City. It used to be in the Kaufman Story Studios in Queens, WFAN. And of course, it's legendary for being the very first sports talk show radio station in the history of this country, in the history of the world, really. And we've seen such great broadcasters like Don Imus and Mike Francesa and Christopher Mad Dog Russo there. But we're like fifth generation at WFAN. Although for some weird reason, the most boring guy on the radio, Richard Neer, is still there. That tells you they don't care much about ratings. But we have, again, insanity from the mid-morning. I would mention about Sal Licata, a.k.a. Spaz Licata. I hope his eye is doing well. I made fun of him. I didn't know about this because they made fun of him on SNY, saying that the average age of a person getting cataract surgery is 73. He's 45. 45. He's a very sick man. He's very sickly. We wish him well and good health, quite frankly. But again, for the last year and a half, he's been going after Pete Alonso very hard. If you followed his Twitter feed or X feed, if you followed him on the radio, he's been trying to drive this particular player out of New York. For whatever reason. I don't know, it's because he wants ratings. And he's been going very hard at him at WFAN. SNY, not so much. But this week and today and yesterday, you're starting to see the real Sal Licata come up. And we're going to lay the smackdown on him. And the hypocrisy by Spaz. Because quite frankly, that's what it comes down to. If he was consistent, your host would never say anything. If all these hosts were consistent in what they say, then I would leave them alone. But and they're always on the attack, specifically with the Mets. I don't care about the other teams. I really don't care. But with the Mets, I'm always concerned because I want them to be treated fairly. That's what it's all about. And I've been on their case for the last year and a half because they weren't fair for a long time, for over a year. Now, Pete Alonso has become sort of the punching bag at the radio station. I guess, I think they don't like big power hitters because back in the day, they used to hammer Darryl Strawberry every day. For 4 seasons, they used to hammer Darryl again and again and again and again, every single day. The thing with Pete is not nearly as bad as Darryl, but it's pretty much up there. But we have here with WFAN is the lack of consistency. And I don't know what the deal is. Well, I think I have a pretty good idea. It's about ratings. They want to get the audience upset. A good portion of the audience at WFAN are Yankees fans and a lot of self-hating Met fans. And I got to sort of point out something. These people lie, okay? A year and a half ago, when the Mets had that purge and they traded Verlander and Scherzer and a few other veterans, they went after Pete hard. They said that the Mets clubhouse was toxic. And they pointed out that Pete was getting close to his free agency, and that's what was making the clubhouse bad. Within a week, plenty of people came to Pete Alonso's defense, including myself. And we pointed out that that is not true because we never heard anything up until that point. And WFAN kind of sort of backed down, Now, and this went on for over a year. This went on for over a year up until the Milwaukee series. In Game 2 of that Milwaukee series, Pete had a terrible game. He was tripping over his bat in the batter's box. He just had a brutal game. But he made up for it with that big home run in the ninth inning against Devin Williams. And ever since they were very quiet, most of them are very quiet. He's very quiet. Sal Licata. He's very quiet. Up until the last few weeks, he's been on Pete's case. Because then for a while, he's like, oh, I want to bring it back. He's still full of shit. You don't want the player here. Just be consistent and have some backbone. He couldn't say this on SNY for the longest time. This popped up today in the last couple of days because he feels that what's he going to do with Pete's signs? He's going to look like an asshole. Even more so than when he had the paper bag over his head. Because the Mets trade a middle reliever. And David Robinson. But here we go. I got a couple of articles here. I haven't read them. A lot of times I don't read the articles. So if it seems like I'm stuttering, I can't read, it's because I'm reading it for the first time. I want to get my own initial reaction. So I can give you sort of more my natural way of reacting. It's sort of like improv. Never know where it's going to take me. So that's why people sort of complain about me reading. That's why I don't read these beforehand, because I don't want to plan it out. So here we go. That's from Odyssey. Thank you, Odyssey, for putting your articles out again. They must have got rid of the intern that was paying attention. And SI has an article too. From Spaz, at this point it would be a mistake for both sides for Pete Alonso to re-sign with the Mets. As the Pete Alonso free agency continues to drag on with pitchers and catchers reporting to spring training in less than 2 weeks, Sal Licata believes it would no longer be beneficial for the Mets and their homegrown slugger to come to an agreement. Many still believe New York will bring back Alonso, despite tense negotiations that Steve Cohen has publicly lamented. But Spaz doesn't believe it will necessarily be the right move. Even the Mets need another bat in the middle of the lineup. Quote, I think at this point, too much damage has been done, Spaz said. I think it would be a mistake for both sides to bring Pete back. I know it's going to happen. They're going to bring Pete back. The Mets fans are going to be excited, ignoring a lot of facts that can lead to a bad relationship. Oh, boy. And he's not mentioned the facts. What are the facts? What are the facts? For Spaz, Alonso's already shown that he struggles when there is pressure on himself, as his contract year was arguably the worst of his career. Surely he had a massive home run against the Brewers to send the Mets to the NLDS, but he already returned on a contract far less than what he hoped for, signed for. He doesn't believe the response will be turning back the clock to 22, or even 23 in terms of on-field production. And the relationship may be too damaged between himself and the only team he's known as a pro. So now, and this is one thing the WFAN loves to do, they love to play mind readers. They like to be a mind reader. Quote, the Mets may want him, but they don't really want him, Sal said. He may want to come back, but he doesn't really want to come back. He had no other option. And the Mets don't have any other options at this point. Let me read this again. The Mets may want him, but they don't really want him. He may want to be back, but he doesn't really want to be back. What kind of double talk is this? What kind of monkey garbage crap monkey talk is this? I mean, how does he know? How does he know? It's the same guy that said that he was toxic in the Mets clubhouse with no sources. And in fact, Tommy Pham said that Pete was one of the good guys in the clubhouse. You know, I mean, I don't need to read this other article. Just reading enough of that is just, I'll tell you, when you start and I don't watch the radio shows, or, when they put them on, I guess CBS, and I don't listen really that much, very, very rarely. But I follow them on X. So when I get these articles, or when I use these little quotes, and just it comes up with like a wonderful video. But I do watch, SNY's simulcast of Evan and Tiki. I thought the funny thing is when they do the Evan and Tiki like promo on TV on SNY, they talk about how Evan and Tiki always argue all the time. How they argue. They never argue. Evan doesn't argue with anybody that he's working with. And Tiki's too boring to say anything controversial. Other than that stupid thing he said about Saquon Barkley last year, saying that he was disowning him. How stupid does he look now? See, Tiki doesn't like your host because they bring up stuff that he says in the past or his own behavior when he was with the Giants. He doesn't like me because he doesn't like that I do the videos on the phone and I'm doing it from my house. That's social media, bub. That's social media, buddy. But WFAN has this habit of starting on something without any proof. There's been no stories, no nothing. Okay? And Sal Licata has been in the radio business a long time. It wasn't until last year or a year and a half ago, he got his first big break. Where they named him a host on a show. It's not the morning show, and it's not the afternoon drive. So he's not there yet. But he will stab someone in the back. That's how all these radio personalities are. And this is another visit to the insane asylum known as WFAN. Subscribe.
They're coming to take me away, ha ha. They're coming to take me away, ho ho, hee hee, ha ha. To the funny part.